Stop whatever you're doing. Open your bank account, look at the number. Now ask yourself honestly, is that number bigger than it was 6 months ago? Or are you sitting in the exact same place? And here is what I need to tell you before this video goes any further. By the time this ends, you will realize that your own brain has been your biggest financial enemy your entire life. And it was never, not even for a single day, your fault. Keep watching. I want you to go back, not to last year, not to your first job, further, to a room you grew up in, maybe a kitchen, maybe a living room, maybe a car ride where the adults in the front seat thought you were asleep. Do you remember the first time you felt something about money? Not thought, felt. Maybe it was your mother counting what was left after the bills, her face doing that specific, quiet, devastating thing, where she didn't say a word, but the whole room changed temperature. Maybe it was your father on the phone, voice low, controlled, tight. The way voices get when the thing being discussed cannot afford to become a fight. Maybe it was a sentence thrown out so casually nobody realized it would last forever. We can't afford that. People like us, we just survive. Rich people didn't get there honestly. You were maybe 6, maybe 8, and your brain, still forming, still deciding what kind of world this is, learned its first lesson about money. Not from a book or a classroom, from the air, from the silence, from the weight of what was not said. And that lesson has been quietly, invisibly, relentlessly running your finances every single day since then. Picture this moment. You are sitting in your car after a long day of work. Paycheck just hit. And before you have even pulled out of the parking lot, your mind has already spent it. The rent, the bill you have been avoiding, the thing your child needs, the thing you promised yourself you would finally take care of. By the time you get home, the money is gone. Not literally yet, but mentally, completely, thoroughly, efficiently gone. And you did not decide to do that. It just happened, the way it always happens. And here's the part that might make you laugh in a painful kind of way. You have probably told yourself 100 times that next month will be different. Same brain, same story, same result. And science finally has a name for why. Researchers who have studied families living under financial stress found something that will stay with you. The brain that grows up watching money disappear does not learn that money is scarce. It learns that money is supposed to disappear. And it spends the rest of its life making sure that belief stays true. Not because something is wrong with you, because the brain's deepest need is not wealth. It is consistency. It will choose a painful, familiar story over a peaceful, unfamiliar one, every single time. Now, here is what nobody says out loud. Your brain, the same brain that is supposed to be on your side, has been working against you this entire time. Not because it is broken, not because you are broken, but because your brain has one job above everything else: to keep the story consistent. And the story it learned in that kitchen, that living room, that car ride, was a story of scarcity, of never enough, of money that burns through your hands, of people like us and people like them. And your brain, loyal, efficient, completely devoted, has spent your entire adult life making absolutely certain that story stays true. Money starts coming in, an expense appears from nowhere, an opportunity arrives. Your brain finds 17 reasons it will not work. You start to get ahead. Something pulls you back to exactly where you started. This is not bad luck. This is not the universe punishing you. This is your own mind doing precisely what it was programmed to do, in a room you can barely remember, by people who were just trying to make it through the month. And here is how it destroys you without you ever knowing. The moment money arrives, something in your body just won't let you keep it. Because having it means losing it is coming. So you lose it first, on your own terms, before it can be taken. And when you try to save, something in you won't allow it to feel safe. The anxiety, the restlessness, the voice that says, "What if I need it? What if this is wrong?" Until you find a perfectly logical reason to spend what you saved. Because your body was never taught what financial safety feels like. So safety, actual, real, sustained safety, feels like the most dangerous thing in the world. And then you work harder, you try more, you sacrifice more, and the number stays exactly the same. Because you were never failing because you weren't trying hard enough. You were failing because you were running with everything you had, inside a story that had already decided where you finish. And when something finally goes right, when money actually comes easily, something in you quietly, automatically, completely corrects it. Back to struggle, back to familiar, back to the place that feels like home, even though home was never enough. Here's what nobody ever told you. The story your brain is running was never yours. It belonged to the people who raised you, who received it from the people who raised them. Generation after generation, the same scarcity, the same fear, the same invisible ceiling, passed down like a family heirloom nobody wanted and nobody knew how to refuse. You didn't choose this. You were handed it before you were old enough to understand what you were receiving. And you have spent your entire adult life working, struggling, trying, failing, trying again, paying the interest on a debt that was never yours to begin with. That is not weakness. That is loyalty. The most painful, most expensive, most invisible kind of loyalty there is. So what do? You do the one thing nobody ever put in a finance video. You look at the story. You go back to that room, that face, that sentence, and you see it for what it actually is. Not truth, a story. Someone else's story. From someone else's fear. From someone else's pain. That was placed inside you without your permission and has been charging rent every single day since then. The moment you can see the story, you are no longer living inside it. You are standing outside it, holding it, looking at it, with the power, for the first time, to put it down. Put it down. Share this with someone who works harder than anyone you know, but can never seem to get ahead. They have been carrying someone else's story their entire life. It's time they knew.